Hey, I'm John. Welcome to Mr. G's Workbench. By now, I'm sure most of you have heard about the apparent demise of Kitty Hawk and their subsidiary Panda Hobbies, and or Panda Models. I don't know which one it is. If all things play out the way they're saying, then that's really unfortunate. Every swinging dick on the internet has had an opinion on this and an observation to make, so allow me to jump into the party with my opinions and observations, however uninformed they may be. But if you've been following my channel for any length of time, and thank you to the over 650 people who've subscribed and have followed me, and if you haven't, I hope you'll consider it after this. Those of you who've been following my channel for a while, you know we started the channel off with the Kitty Hawk MiG-25 build review. We segued into the Kitty Hawk Su-30 build review. You've seen me build the Kitty Hawk F5E. We've built the Panda Hobbies 9K 330 Tor anti-aircraft vehicle. And, you know, they were all eventful builds. The Tor was a terrific build, a complete 180 from the last Panda Hobbies vehicle I had tried to build that went into the Fort Bend County landfill. Excuse me. And for the most part, you know, they've all been reasonably good builds. The MiG-25 was, you know, had its flaws, which I will probably get into because they're emblematic of Kitty Hawk's faults as a whole. The Su-30 was not a bad kit at all, except for the missing axles on the main gear legs. I mean, that had to be one of their all-time great cock-ups. And the F5E, aside from not having intakes, was actually, you know, it was not a bad kit. You know, it needed extra work. It needed some extra attention, but it wasn't unbuildable. None of those kits were unbuildable. You know, a term which seems to have sprung up on the internet modeling forums, usually by the most uninformed, least productive modelers. And I don't think any kit is unbuildable. I think that they can be tough. I think, you know, I've had Kitty Hawk kits that I've thrown in the garbage. I'm not going to lie. I had the Bronco OV-10D in 32nd scale. I had high hopes for that kit. I invested a lot of money in aftermarket in that kit, and it is hands down one of the worst kits I ever tried to build. The fit, step by step, the fit just fought me every step of the way. The kit engineering on that was terrible. You know, the hallmark of the Bronco is that nice big square wing, and Kitty Hawk managed to break that up into segments that you had to get lined up with no positive locating. And, you know, that again, that's a byproduct of poor kit engineering, which I think was really, unfortunately for Kitty Hawk, one of the hallmarks of their kit design was just bad engineering. The kits that went together well are the exception rather than the rule. The Black Hawk kits go together well. I think they have the least amount of struggle as opposed to some of their other kits. In terms of the engineering, poor engineering, the MiG-25, as I started saying earlier, is emblematic of some of the constant issues that Kitty Hawk faces. Poor kit engineering and the way the wingtips attach to the wings with this kind of dragon tooth interlocking thing that was completely unnecessary. The lack of intakes on the huge MiG-25 intakes. You compare the Kitty Hawk MiG-25 kits at like $80 to a $55 ICM MiG-25, and there's no comparison. The ICM kit blows the Kitty Hawk kit out of the water. And I think that may be part of what led to the downfall of Kitty Hawk as a company. Their competitors were finally catching up in terms of subject matter, where Kitty Hawk used to give you some of the most esoteric stuff as subject matter. Other companies like ICM in particular picked up the mantle and started, you know, putting out some of these kits as well. Same thing with the flankers. Kitty Hawk came out with their SU-35, and right around the same time, Great Wall Hobby came out with their SU-35, which was, hands and feet above the Kitty Hawk kit in terms of engineering and appearance. And that's unfortunate. I built the SU-35 from Kitty Hawk, and I thought it was actually a decent kit to put together. I enjoyed it. It was an actually like typical, plastic kit that went together. I didn't have any Kitty Hawk issues with it like I, have with other ones. So I think that became a problem for them. Their flankers, as I started to say, pardon my fragmented thinking as I do this. Their flankers, aside from the SU-35, which wasn't bad, when they got into the SU-30 and the SU-27, you had that issue with that I mentioned with the axles on the main gear legs. That is such a ground ball mistake to make. How did your quality control, which most people believe there is no quality control at Kitty Hawk, another problem. That's why their flanker kits just, couldn't hold a candle to the Great Wall Hobby flanker that came out, the SU-27. Why am I going to spend over $80 for a Kitty Hawk kit, which the later ones don't even include weapons, when I can get a superior kit from Great Wall Hobby at a comparable price? Again, I think that all kind of came into play in the end of this company. So, again, unfortunate. And, aside from kit engineering, bad research, I think their choice to ignore research when offered to them. Why have a Facebook page and then take no input from, your customers? That's just a blueprint for disaster. The same thing on the Huey kit. I know there were at least 2 people in the States involved in giving information and working with Kitty Hawk to get the design right. And if you go on Aircraft Resource Center's forums, you can probably still find the thread that documented that, where it was discussed. And where the researchers, who I won't mention by name, admitted as much, that Kitty Hawk would take their, take all the design stuff and the input they gave them, picked and chose what they wanted to do. And that's why, you got a halfway decent Huey out of the result of that in 48 scale. But it wasn't what it could have been, and a lot of people pick out a lot of the errors in that kit. The later model Huey that came afterwards has a completely incorrect main rotor from everything I've read. I'm not much of a rivet counter myself, so I'm going by what I read. But apparently, if people have to swap out the main rotor with the Italy main rotor to get something accurate, there's a problem. And it sounds like Kitty Hawk, again, took the cheap way out, ignored the advice and direction they were given, and chose to do things, with a shortcut. That's no way to do your research. What about the kits that had Detail and Scales logo on the box? If you look at the markings and stuff, did they really pay attention to the details provided by Detail and Scale? Or, did Bert Kinsey and them get ignored, and Kitty Hawk just did their thing and put the little logo on the box, hoping for a little extra credibility? I don't know what the story is. I'm not privy to that. But again, it just seems like advice given, advice solicited, as a matter of fact, is ignored. Feedback from your customers is ignored, and you got what you got. And unfortunately, that's where we're at. It's never good to see a company fold. You can only hope that the molds get picked up by another company, and maybe we'll see. I'd love to have seen a Jayhawk in 35th scale. I would have bought 2 of those. Then I would have jumped on board wholeheartedly and did that. But in that light, I do still have a Kitty Hawk. I have one of the naval helicopters to do as a build review. I've just started that, so you know, in terms of Kitty Hawk, we do have that coming up. I'm going to do an open box. I just got my my Mirage 2000D, so I'm going to do an open box on that. You know me, if you've been watching this channel, I'm not a big fan of open box, but there aren't a lot of open box reviews on the Mirage 2002 seater, so I figure I'll pop the box open, we'll take a look at it together, and we'll see how that is. I thoroughly enjoyed the single seater. The 2000C was a great kit, considering mine had a short shot. And anyone who says they haven't gotten a Kitty Hawk kit with a short shot in it is lying. That 2000C had a short shot on it. I managed to clean up the mess with some styrene sheet and some putty, and I got it cleaned up. And I loved the result. It was a really nice kit. No complaints. Again, some of their later stuff was good, you know. So we'll take a look at that as well. Don't want to ramble too much longer. I just wanted to throw my 2 cents out there. I think Kitty Hawk is an example of a company that had they listened to their customer base a little more, had they taken criticism constructively and did something with it, had they done a little bit more research, and had somebody at Kitty Hawk even once built a Kitty Hawk kit, I guarantee you would have gotten, you know, somewhat better results out of that company in terms of product quality. So that being said, thanks for stopping in, and like I said, we'll have an open box on the Mirage 2000D coming up, probably like a day after this video. So thanks for stopping in, and I'll see you all next time. Take care.